Colin Bridgerton is not a guy that I like a lot. You're supposed to like these male leads from Bridgerton. Remember how Anthony was like a complete asshole in season 1 and we ended up falling in love with him in season 2? I wanted that. It didn't feel earned. He never gave me anything, as in he gave me nothing as someone who was watching the show. But this show is not about me, so let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Bridgerton review. I know I'm a little late, not even a little late. I am late on this one. And honestly speaking, I expected to love this show. I wanted to love this show. Granted, let me just first say this. I wasn't a big fan of Bridgerton, especially when it first came out. I thought it was okay. But what sold Bridgerton to me was the second series, the love story between Anthony and Kate Sharma, and the story of young Queen Charlotte. Those 2 seasons really sold it for me. And I was one of those people who are like, now they're exploiting. They know people love this show. Now they want to just create so many stories that didn't exist. And man, did they prove me wrong. And me, if there's something I can't hate, is when someone or something or an event proves me wrong. And Queen Charlotte's story proved me wrong. That story was wonderfully created, wonderfully written, wonderfully acted out, as in it left people with those, those things that people just keep on reciting, Queen Charlotte's line of, I will stand with you between the heavens and the earth. I will see you, do you love me? Those are the things that stay or stick with people. You remember that the target audience for these shows are women, right? Women fall in love with words. That's just it, Even Anthony's story of you are the bane of my existence. Even if CG you move to India, do you think that is far enough to keep me away from your love? Those lines are what stay with you, as someone who's reading or rather watching the show, And the deliveries, oh my God, this man really, stepped into those roles. Even the Duke from season 1, I think he did a really great job as well. So this show, I expected that. I expected Penelope to shine. And granted, she did shine on her own. I really loved her transformation from being a wallflower to somebody who finally stands out and is finally noticed by people. She's like, you know what? I really need to find a husband. I can't continue living with my sisters. I think I'll go insane. And she has some motivation to want to get married. She really never thought about it. And can I say this? Her sisters, the whole Featherington storyline, their family, this season was a standout for me. They were the comic relief. They usually are, but this season, especially the 2 sisters and the mother interaction, oh, it was so funny.
There is, I trust, every reason to hope both of you might, before long, be presenting the family with an heir.
Mama, how rude. Albion and I are very passionate, of course.
Good. And you?
This tea is quite bitter.
Never mind the tea.
Yes, Mama, we have been familiar with each other.
Well, I should hope you have. How often?
Once, on our wedding night.
Do you think babies simply appear in your womb? You must be familiar with each other often to create one.
But I want to be out with my husband showing him off, not in bed. And it flattens my hair.
If you want to beat your sister, you must try harder. The full moon is on the rise, a harbinger of fertility. I suggest you make good use of it.
I really loved that about them, as in they just stood on their own ground. They know they're not so serious, so yeah, let's play around with it. So as I was saying, I really wanted her to shine, I wanted Colin to earn her love. We know she's loved Colin from the very first season. I wanted him to earn that love. And the introduction of Lord Debling was that chance for us to see him fight for her love, But he was just introduced. Yeah, there was some sort of a competition. It wasn't really a competition, but he really didn't earn that love. There was no build-up whatsoever. Colin, we really didn't get to know Colin. You see how we got to know of Anthony and his story and what made him tick. We came to realize that the death of his father really did affect him. How he died, because he died so weirdly, you wouldn't think someone would die of a bee sting, him taking the role of Viscount, being very young because his dad died. He had to be responsible for all his siblings and mother as well. So seeing that transition got us to understand who Anthony was, and we saw the chemistry between Kate Sharma as well, because they kind of shared the same burden. They were all very responsible of their families to a point where they forgot about themselves. So seeing them come together and build up on that was really fun to see. We see her, she's a very well fleshed out character. The reason why she's also able to play Lady Whistledown is because of her being the wallflower. You really don't notice her, and her stepping into herself is wonderful to see. But Colin, we really don't get to know Colin. We just know he travels. That's it. He traveled, probably got into the gym and had a very nice or rather good haircut, and that's it. His explanation, or rather his story, is even told from a third person's perspective. I don't know which sibling gets to narrate a piece of some details about his story, and it didn't make sense. Let us see who this person is. I would have loved to see flashbacks of him traveling. I would have loved to see flashbacks of him being a child, probably his interactions with Penelope, him realizing, by the way, this lady has been it for me for a very long time. I didn't realize it. You see how he told Penelope he kept on dreaming with her. Oh, I keep on dreaming with you. I even want to fall asleep because that's the only time I get to see you. I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that dream interaction, And granted, I am not in any way against women making the first move. It would not be me. But she actually made the move. She asked Colin to kiss him, and he was thinking about the kiss the whole time. You can't tell me that the kiss is what unraveled everything. There has to be some build-up. This is a friends to lovers story. It should be easy, yes, but we want to see that build up. Enemies to lovers is something else. Strangers to lovers, which is what Queen Charlotte and King George had, is also another thing. But friends to lovers, it should be smooth, yes, but there should be build up. Colin needed to earn Penelope. That's just it. And the other thing that made me really upset is that other love stories are even taking center stage above theirs. The Francesca story with John Starling really caught people's attention. There wasn't a lot said about them, but even in their silence, because they are all introverted people, there was so chemistry even in their silence, more than Colin and Penelope's story. Even the other brother that is Benedict Bridgerton, he has his own weird love storyline going on in the sidelines, but it also kind of took over from what Penelope and Colin are. Even the Viscount and the Viscountess, they're seen in 2-3 scenes, but their scenes really take control of this. As in, you even forget slightly that you're watching Colin's and Penelope's story. So I didn't like that. So I don't know if it's the actor's fault or the writer's fault or the setup, I don't know. But we also have some time. They decided to split this season into 2. I don't know why, but they can still recover. They still have 4 episodes to go, so maybe after the 8th episode our story will have changed. So let's wait and see how those 4 episodes will do. Probably after that we will be seeing a completely different story. So it's had an uphill task, as I said, to beat whatever the Viscount and the Viscountess did in season 2 and Queen Charlotte's story. But hey, this is their story, and let's see how the 4 more episodes that are awaiting to come out will be like. So yeah, I may be proved wrong, and as I said, I usually have no problem with being proved wrong. We live in a society where people don't like being questioned or corrected, but me, if you prove me wrong and you do it in the best way, I will give you your flowers. I'll be like, hey, I was wrong, and I was wrong. So yeah, up until then, I'll see you on the next one.